Hello and welcome back to day 3 of Spice Up Manifestation Hot Sauce Sessions, where we are talking everything about how do we actually spice up our manifestation powers. Woohoo! And welcome everybody who is watching live and everybody who is joining during the replay. It's your time to connect and really understand what is your manifestation journey and how to make it more powerful. And today, in our day 3, we are turning up the heat by diving deep into how to work with your vision and make it sizzle with the energy. This is super, super important. So the first day, we were all just about what exactly do I want to bring into my physical existence? What is something that just drives my motivation? What is something that I really craving to have in my life? The second day, we said, okay, let's have this crystal clear vision. Let's just write it out and make it as real as possible. And today, we are going to dive in as how do we actually work with our vision, right? So let's just spice it up and start living your vision today. The first thing what we are doing after we write it down, remember when we were writing it down, we were using emotions, we were having these vivid images and pictures, what exactly we want to attract. Now it's the time. Now what do we do now with that vision? And that's exactly what I'm going to be teaching you today. So just remember that vision is your breathing document. It's not something set in stone, meaning that whatever you wrote, you cannot actually change anything. Because let me tell you, the more you get involved in this process, the more creativity is going to flow through you, and you're going to be having different ideas, and you want to add something more details, and everything what comes to your mind you can actually sit down and add to whatever vision you already crafted. And how do we actually work on a daily basis? Because it's not good enough just to write something. The same thing happens when people have the vision boards. They design these beautiful vision boards, they stare at them every day. But if there is nothing done with these vision boards, there is not much progress made. That's why where the frustration with manifestation happens. So, how do we actually work with that vision? We can work it in different ways. First way is we can read it. We can read it every morning, we can read it every evening. Then another good technique is visualization. Visualize. And how do we actually visualize? It's something that I would invite you to connect to the daydreaming. If you just close your eyes and, for instance, you just come back to the memories of maybe the day when you met your true love, or maybe when you had your child, or anything that you're connecting with, right? So now we are dreaming going forward, where we just close our eyes and we imagine ourselves in a particular scene wearing something special. We actually want to make sure that we can smell, we can touch, we can see, so we can operate with all our five senses. And it's pretty simple, because if I tell you, close your eyes and imagine that you are looking at the orange, just come to that orange, just take it in your hands. How does it feel? And start peeling that orange and feel the juice is just spraying all over, and smell that orange, that citrus that coming through. You'll be able to actually feel all these emotions because you've had that experience in the past. So the same thing is happening when we are visualizing the picture of exactly what we want to bring into our life. Because remember, as I mentioned before, our brain does not distinguish between the real and the imaginary. So the more real we are going to see that in pictures, what we want to bring into our life, and the more five sensorized we do it while we are visualizing, the more it becomes real. So read the vision every day, morning and evening, either morning or either evening, whatever you feel right? Then you can also visualize. And visualization exercise is also good to do the first thing in the morning or the last thing when you go to sleep. Why is that important? Because morning time, when we just awake, our body is not 100% awake, so we are still in that alpha state where our mind is a little bit in a sleepy state, and that's exactly where we can uh, receive all the downloads coming. The same way as we are going to sleep, where our subconscious mind is working even though we are resting at night. This is a good way that we can also work with our vision. And the most important thing, we become more aware on a daily basis. If the person of the future, how would, if I am already that future self, how would I act? What would I speak? How would I present myself? So we want to step into the body of that self image of the person from our future. And I'm just going to give you a quick example. For instance, if you want to have more abundance, more money, what do you have to do? First of all, stop complaining that you don't have enough money, right? Because remember, if we are talking about our future self, if we connect to our vision, that person from your vision already got it all. That person doesn't need anything. So there is no complaints about money. And when you go into the store, and if you want to buy something in the grocery, don't go to the section with the discount, because we have to stop ourselves and catch ourselves, because our actions dictate the frequency that we are vibrating, and our actions are going to attract everything what's in our proximity. So if we want to replicate that person who has it all, just go and buy something at the regular price and feel good about it. Just say that I am that future self who has a lot of money, and I am allowed to treat myself the way that I want to be treated. In other words, that remember, we do not attract what we want, we attract who we are. I'm going to repeat again. We do not attract what we want, we attract who we are. So when we speak to the universe and we say that, I do not know if this is going to really materialize, I have self doubt, I do not believe that this is something that's going to come into the real life. When we have that negative self talk, when we are not matching with our words, with our actions, with our thoughts, that person that we want to bring into the existence, until we become that match of the reality that we want to create, and we are able to resonate with that person that we want to bring from our future into today's, that's exactly when our a manifestation is going to materialize. So when people are asking me when, I say as soon as you align energetically. What does it mean to align energetically? Remember, we are all energetic beings. And before the law of attraction comes the law of vibration. And the law of vibration go back to the physics, right? So it's not just the woo-woo. The law of vibration states that each object vibrates, and we are also vibrating, but everything is vibrating on a different frequency. That's why when we look at the solid objects, we do not see them vibrating, because they are vibrating at a very slow rate. But everything in this universe vibrates, and each vibration rate has its frequency to it. So, whatever level of frequency we are vibrating, we are attracting everything on that frequency. Again, whatever frequency we are vibrating at, we are attracting everything on that frequency. Meaning that each experience that we have and all our results, that is the direct attraction that we created with the frequency that we are vibrating at. And I just want you to think about the TV, the same example. For instance, if you are tuning in and listening to the news, and like all the time these news are filled with all the negative things, and we feel stressed out in our body, and then we say, you know what, I just fed up with that, I can't listen to this anymore. You take your remote and you just change the channel, and you change the channel to the travel channel or to the animal channel, and all of a sudden you feel relaxed, you feel peaceful, you feel comfortable. That's what you've done just right now. You changed the frequency, because each channel on the TV has its own frequency. Each channel on the radio has its own frequency. If we want to listen to the songs of the 80s, we have to tune into that channel. Because if we are going to be on Z100, we are not going to be able to listen to the songs of the 80s. Does it make any sense? Just put in the comments something that you get it, or if you have any questions. I would like to make it interactive, and I would love to give you as much information as I can. So remember, the work with the vision, we work every day, right? Because we want to direct our energy to something that we truly want to create in our life. And that's exactly, the more focused we are and the more we are sending that energy towards something that we want to bring from the ethereal, from the energetic field into our physical reality, the more touches we do throughout the day, the better we become at it. Remember, we are training our brain muscle the same way as we would train our body. Awesome, Wendy. Thank you so much. Yes, great that you understand. I'm so happy. So we work with our brain muscle the same way as we would work with our body. If we go to the gym for 3 months, we do not expect to have the ideal body. But we know that if we consistently going to be going, and even when we have this beautiful shape of our body, we are not going to stop, because we understand once we stop, we are not maintaining what we want, right? So the same thing happens with our brain muscle. We constantly training our brain muscle, and we get good at it the more we train it, right? So if for any reason some of the concepts are kind of confused or not clear, I just invite you to stick to that, to work through that. Just ask me any questions, because you are gonna you are gonna be great at it. It's all just practicing, right? Practice makes it perfect. And that's exactly how manifestation work. And I also wanted to tell you that vision is the most important document. You want to make sure that you are using the right words, because each word also has the frequency to it. There are high vibrational words, there are low vibrational words. And if you really want to know if you captured everything in your vision, I have a free gift for you. If this is you, just drop in the comment the word vision, and I'm going to give to you the session with me where we sit down and we go over your vision, and I'll calibrate it, and I'll make sure that each word that you are using and everything that you're putting into the vision is exactly what you want to put out into the universe. Because remember, each word that we are saying, each thought that we are thinking, everything goes into the universe, and then we start creating that reality. Our energy is creative. So just drop in the comment vision, and I'll be able to serve you and support you in the most magnificent way, because you want to have that vision that really is working for you in the most amazing way. Now, to tell you more about vision and visualization, let's go back to people that we all know, and maybe not everybody knows about, that they actually bring their vision into reality. We all know about Jim Carrey's actor, and his story was about visualizing a 10 million check. So what happened, he actually, in the early 1990s, before he became famous, he was struggling to make it in the Hollywood. So to stay motivated and focused on his goals, he wrote himself a check for $10 million, dated it for the Thanksgiving of 1995. And he kept that check into his wallet. And on the check, he said for the acting services rendered. So what he was doing with that, it's not only good enough to have whatever written, right? Whatever we are talking about the vision, but also do this visualization. So he would often drive up to the Hollywood Hills. He would look down at the city and visualize himself being a successful actor, just receiving that check for his work in the movie industry. He imagined the feeling of accomplishment and the opportunities that would come his way. And we all know that just before Thanksgiving, 1995, Jim Carrey was offered the role in the movie Dumb and Dumber, for which he received the payment of exactly $10 million. So just think about it, right? There are a lot of times we do not know the stories, but once we understand what the vision was the driving force for everything what people created, and we understand how important it is to have that vision, because we want to have that destination where we are heading, right? The clear and more vivid that destination that we have, the better results we are going to produce. Here is another story about Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs actually was a huge time visionary. And when he was thinking about the iPhone, he just wanted to have that gadget that would be like a computer, and you can talk and you can see, and you could just hold it in your hand. He did not know exactly how he can make it to life, but he had this vivid vision in his head. And the more he visualized, the more he connected, everything started to make more sense. So, my invitation for you today, please start working with your vision. Read it, write it, visualize it, sensorize it with all five senses, make it more and more real. Because remember, the more we are gonna talk to our brain and say that this is my reality, the more our brain is going to perceive as this is my reality, right? Remember, we are bringing something from the energy into the physical reality. Our thoughts become things. The more we understand how our brain is wired and how we actually create everything in life, the more we understand that this is true, this is the reality. And that's exactly how we attract anything we want. So for next day, so this is your homework. Your homework is going to be start living your vision. This is your day 3 fun work. Start living your vision by putting that self image. Just walk a little bit like that person from your future. If you have it all already together, if you had your abundance, if you had your career, if you had your love and relationship, just think about it. You've got it all. How would you walk? How would you talk? How would you think? And just come to be that person at least 5 to 10 minutes a day and see how it's going to change your state of being, because you might not going to be worried about a lot of things. You might not be that regular person. You might be more uplifted. You might be more happier, more fulfilled. And I would love to know your experience with that. Meantime, if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat so I can address them. And remember, you are powerful beyond your measurement. It's all about connecting to that power and start creating everything what you want. So connect to your vision, do it on a daily basis, because consistency makes huge difference. Drop down in the chat if you want me to look at your vision and make it more powerful. And I'll see you tomorrow on the next day of our beautiful Spice Up manifestation journey. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening and all the best.